If you can't kill a boss, no reason why you can't look like one. Moogle putting the wow in transmogs.
The shoulders are the heaving plates of protection, which of course are spelled wrong. Bastion of Twilight. Various mobs there, or you could buy it on the auction house. That's why I didn't show the magma piece, which is part of the DK set, tier set from Cata. The chest, as well as the legs and the helm, are the Dominant Gladiator's Dreadplate set, which is, of course, PvP Legion, or you could go with Demonic. Keep in mind that's Alliance only. Flame-Licked Girdle, the Burning Throne Mythic. Shadow gives the boss 18% on the drop rate for the belt. The legs, we talked about this. Dominant Gladiator's Dreadplate Laggards, Legion PvP vendor. It's a little bit more than 3 Marks of Honor. You got to buy the whole dumb set. Eventually, I do think Blizzard's going to change that. That's why I threw in 3 Marks of Honor. For those of you that actually watched this 2 years from the day it's uploaded, which probably about 3 people. Doomwalker War Boots, the Burning Throne Mythic, Arathi Worldbreaker, kind of fair drop rate to get those from Mythic. The Wrist, keep in mind this is the Wrist. Blackwing Descent, Magmatron, I believe he's the first boss. No, he's not. Different boss, got it wrong. Anyway, Electron Inductator, just don't go near electricity. Mistscape Cloak, Skullomance, like Skullomance. Various mobs there, buy it on the auction house. The head, Demonic Gladiator's Dreadplate Helm, or Dominant, either one. 3 Marks of Honor. Actually, you gotta buy the whole set. And there's no other choice for the weapon. Mindbender's Flame Blade. Now, I know I'm being 100% subjective, but I think this set is amazing for a lot of different reasons. It's unique. It represents, I think, a total of 4 different xpacs, and it just worked for Unholy. So I think if your competition isn't that steep, and Asmongold is in a really, really good mood. I called him Almond Gold. That's what I'm going to call him now on. Almond Gold. If he's in a really good mood, this is going to win a contest. This is going to win an xmog contest. Trust me. Ravenous Girdle, we're looking at Hellfire Citadel Mythic. So it's a mix of Hellfire Citadel Mythic from WoD, as well as very difficult World Defiler pieces that are kind of hard to get and rare from, of course, Legion. So you also got a piece from Cata and another piece from WoD and a cool weapon. So, and in the back, I believe, is Mist Pandaria. Even though it says that it's intellect-only cape, I do believe you can still xmog that on DKs. If not, there's a lot of ways you could go. Yes, Hellfire Citadel Mythic, so the gloves and the shoulders and the belt are Hellfire Citadel Mythic. Moving on to the back, Cape of 3 Lanterns, Mukushan Vaults, Jade Guardians, drop it at a very, very high drop rate. You could always go there for the mount anyway. And the headpiece, Gaze of Superiority. Hellfire Citadel Fell Lord Zakun is the boss. And the weapon is Blackrock Foundry, Heart of the Mountain, drops at 12% drop rate. I really don't like digressing to the previous set, but I forgot to mention that if you're wondering why there's never any artifacts in these xmogs that I produce, it's just simply because the add-on I use doesn't really show them very well. It only shows the tune that you have and the artifacts that you have. So, for example, if I want to show Zandalari and I have a Zandalari, then I got to go to a whole other character, and it's a pain in the neck, and it usually sometimes only works with the defaults, so that's the long reason. But for the previous set, there's a couple of Apocalypse artifacts for the Unholy DK that really work with it. Now let's get to where we're supposed to be. So this particular set is kind of a remake of another set, although I did make a couple of changes to the head, added the back or the cloak, added in a tabard, and also I believe I changed the weapon. So Malkorik's Giant Stompers, you're looking at Siege of Orgrimmar Mythic. So Siege of Orgrimmar Mythic for the belt and the boots. The other change I made here is the wrist. Bloodfist Van Braces out of Netherstorm, or buy them on the auction house. There's also a lookalike set from that drop of, BC. You can see the cloak, even though it's an intellect-only cloak, I'm 100% sure you can mog it to non-intellect tunes. The head is engineering, the tabard, Shadow Pan Tabard. You could also go, if you're Horde, you could go with the Frostwolf Tabard. It might work pretty well with this. The weapon, Fire Maul of Destruction, Shattered Halls, Warbringer, Ombrog. This particular set has a edgy look to it, and it definitely says Death Knight. Warmongering, Gladiators, Dreadplate, Shoulders. If you Horde, you gotta go wild. WoD PvP vendor. 3 marks of honor to get the shoulders. Moving on to the chest, which of course is from Legion, Tomb of Sargeras, LFR, Maiden of Vigilance, Grave Warden Chestplate is the name of that particular chest. Of course, that's a DK tier piece. The belt, Warmongering, Gladiators, Girdle of Cruelty. And of course, if you're Horde, you want to go wild, pick that up. Super easy to get. And the legs are part of the same DK tier set as the chest. Keep in mind, Tomb of Sargeras LFR version, Mistress Sazine drops those legs. Now, I do believe we're going to go all the way back to Wrath of the Lich King, Hateful Gladiators, Greaves of Triumph, Thalaron, Wrath of the Lich King version, Wrath of the Lich King PvP vendor. Look how epic that cloak goes with this set. Moving on to the hands first, Necrotic Boneplate Gauntlet. So we have a lot of different xpacs represented here, which of course I think is part of the chemistry of good transmog. The back, Drape of the Skyborn Ulduar. It is a quest reward, so that's pretty easy to pick up. And the headpiece, Demon Gaze Helm, Hellfire Citadel Cormrock is the boss, 5% drop rate. And the weapon brings you to Burning Crusade, Netherstorm, BC PvP vendor. My initial thought that this will work best for Blood DKs. Dreadwake Pauldrons, the Burning Throne, Mother of Night, 8% drop rate to get those shoulders. You could also get them from the Time Walking version of Black Temple. Smoldering Breastplate, easy to get. WoD level Blacksmithing or the Auction House. We're also going to go with the legs there from that same crafted set of WoD. The belt, Siege of Orgrimmar Mythic, the Falling Protectors, 5% drop rate on that particular piece. We already talked about the legs and the chest are both crafted pieces from your WoD level Blacksmith or the Auction House, whatever's easier. Probably the Auction House. Now we have a human dude showing the etched Dragon Bone War Boots, Violet Hold. Keep in mind that's heroic. Keep in mind the Legion version. We have different versions of places in WoW now. Hands are Crimson Colossus Arm Guards. Those are not hands, actually. Those are bracers. Made a little bit of a mistake there. Uldir. Heroic Talic, 10% drop rate on those. And we have a Lady Goblin shown in appearance. Cape of 3 Lanterns. Mugashan Vaults. Jade Guardian. I think that's right. Yeah, it is. It's just, I think it's a different version now. I think it's the heroic version. Not 100% sure. Gaze of Superiority is the helm and the weapon. Vengeful Gladiator's Decapitator. And we're going to close out this episode with another Unholy suggested set. Demon Breaker Pauldrons, Hellfire Citadel, LFR version. Manaroth is the boss. I think Manaroth appears in 3 different xpacs in 1 dungeon and 2 raids. That's 3 versions of the same dude. Primal Gladiators Plate Breastplate, WoD PvP vendor. And the belt, Abandoned Zandalari Goreplate, Throne of Thunder, LFR, various mobs, or you could buy that on the Auction House, believe it or not, so that's a good way to go. Doing the spin, showing the cloak, which we'll get to in a second. Primal Gladiators Leg Plates, WoD PvP vendor, 3 marks of honor to pick those up, so those are the PvP legs and chest from WoD. Stompers of Brazen Terror, Hellfire Citadel Heroic Kill Rod Deadeye to pick up those feet, very DK-like looking feet or boots. The wrist, Feather Embellished Wrist Clamps, Hellfire Citadel Heroic Shadow Lord Iskar or Iskar or Ishtar. I don't know, he's a bird dude, just go take him out and take his bracers. Gilded Thorium Cloak, Karazhan BC version Terrestrial Ilho, 17% for the gray cloak. The head, Demon Gaze Helm, Hellfire Citadel, Mythic. Cormorog is the boss, 5% on the drop rate. And the weapon, which is from the Broken Shore, 200 nether shards to buy it, or a couple of different weapons. My name is Luxeley. I want to thank you for watching and leave you with this final thought. Whatever it is by you, whether it's morning, afternoon, or night like it is here, make your day epic.